Hey guys, my name is Ashley and welcome back to my channel, Worth the Read, where we talk about books that are worth your time reading. Today's video is my 2019 book goals. Things that I believe that I can realistically accomplish in the year of 2019 when it comes to books, booktubes, reading, love of reading, all of that. Let's get right into it. My first goal of my 8 in 2019 is to read at least 2 hard copy books. That does not include Audible. So my goal, including audio books, would be 4 books a month, a book a week. 2 of them have to be hardback or paperback or books, physical books. So that could be hard for me. Some months I read 4 or 5 books. Some months I read no books at all. Just can't read a book. So my main focus this year is to read at least 2 books, physical copy books a month. At least 2. I listen to a lot of audiobooks because of my job. I can sit in the morning and listen to books. So that's nothing, but to physically sit and read a book with my schedule can sometimes be a little difficult, but I'm going to focus this year and try to read at least 2 books a month for total, if that includes audiobooks. But 2 books a month. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to redo and maintain my Goodreads list. I am on Goodreads. I think I'm on Goodreads under my name. I should just make a Worth the Read Goodreads page. But I start off every year really sticking to my Goodreads and goals and making shelves and TBRs and things I read and moving them over. And then I slowly stopped doing it. I totally stopped doing it. So this year I'm going to focus on maintaining my Goodreads, if not only for the fact that I can keep track of the books I've read. I always just write them down on a piece of paper and then I lose a piece of paper and then I have to figure out, did I read this year? Did I read this last year? Did I reread this year? It's always such a difficult process. So I figure if I maintain my Goodreads account and list and everything on Goodreads, it'll be easier for me to determine the amount of books I've read this year and what I read and the content that I read this year. So that's goal number 2. Goals 3 and 4 are more the type of things I want to read, the content that I want to read to increase this year. Number 3 would be middle grade novels. Now, I have a niece, she's in 4th grade, and she's constantly reading books, novels for school, and I read the books with her to make sure she's comprehending and give us something to talk about, make her want to read the books more and less of a chore because of schoolwork. The problem with that is those books that the schools gives her all suck. They're boring. They're not entertaining whatsoever. I do not understand why teachers give required reading to students, and then they're not entertaining books. No wonder children don't like to read. The stuff that you give them is boring. I wouldn't want to read it. She had this one book, and it's like Ivan and Me, or Me and Ivan, about an elephant and a gorilla. When I tell you, I literally wanted to blow my brains out as I was reading this book. It was about absolutely nothing. And I don't understand why you would think a child would want to read this. So I want to read more middle grade novels to have a bigger library to pull to give to my niece. I give her a book every Christmas, or books for Christmas, in addition to other Christmas gifts, because only giving books to some kids is just like, I don't want this. But I give her a book every Christmas, and I want to give her books that I know she'll enjoy. But for me to do that, I have to read more middle grade novels. So that's a goal this year. Read more middle grade novels. I can tell you guys what to push for your children, or your family and friends that are at that age group that enjoy reading, but the content that's out there for them is just like, it's not that great. So that's a goal. Another reading goal this year is to read one classic novel. Take a deep breath. I have not read a classic novel. Like, I did not have to read Pride and Prejudice for high school. I guess you consider Shakespeare classic. Of course I read those, but I didn't read The Great Gatsby. I didn't read Pride and Prejudice. I didn't read the list of the classic novels that, you know, every reader should read. I don't find them entertaining. I think they're boring. I think it's always like, I love, you don't love me, I love you. We're in this turmoil of drama. And it's just like, all right, get over it. So, to challenge myself, I'm going to read one classic novel this year and try to get through it. It may take me the whole year. Yeah, it may take me the whole year to get through a book. But that's a goal that I think I can accomplish. One classic novel. So goals 5 and 6 kind of go together. Goal 5 is to create more content for my BookTube page. Creative content, like my cocktails and covers is something that's special to me. Books versus the movie is something that's special to me. I want to create more content to get to you guys, and I want to focus more on my BookTube channel. I first was starting to do at least 2 videos a week or a video a week, and then life got in the way. My friend told me I have 3 jobs, which I technically do have 3 jobs, and so I work Monday through Saturday. Sunday's my only day off, so Sunday's usually the day I focus on my BookTube channel. But some days my body just does not want to agree with me, and I end up sleeping most of the day, which makes sense because I do work every day. So I want to focus more on further developing and creating expanding, that's a better word, my YouTube channel. That's number 5, content. Number 6, I want to explore more of the book world in my city. I live in Philadelphia, and there are a lot of Black-owned bookstores, and there's even I think she's the only Black female-owned comic book store in the U.S., Amelia Comics and Coffee House is in Philadelphia. I really want to go there because I'm into the comic book world, starting with Saga, which really got me into it, and I'm enjoying it. So I want to explore those communities. I know Mark Lamont Hill, who used to work at CNN, owns a coffee shop and a bookstore literally maybe 4 minutes up the road from my house. I have never been there. And I want to take you guys to explore my city of Philadelphia and the book community. I know there's a lot of meetup groups that in Philly that have books and talk about books, but none of them really read the kind of books I enjoy. So I haven't explored that world. Maybe I'll start my own meetup group. But that is a major goal. Explore the book community in my city of Philadelphia. And I challenge you to do the same. See what's out there, and to find other people that love, the book world that you can communicate and hang out with and associate with. So that's 5 and 6. Another goal for 2019 is read more self-published authors. This goes with the reading more middle school and reading a classic novel as far as content that I want to devour this year. I want to read more self-published novels. I know a lot of our BookTube community, especially the bigger names in the BookTube community, get sent books from publishers to review. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love it. It saves them money. Hopefully, I'll get big enough for publishers to send me books so it can save me money. But I think with that, you tend to see a lot of people reading the same books, 1. 2, you also ignore a whole community of self-published book authors. Amazon has a whole world. I actually have a friend who's a self-published author, and she's like on her 5th or 6th book. And I have 2 of them here, Varsity, The Aftermath, and Varsity. I think they're a sequel. But people don't talk about self-published books on YouTube as often as they should. There are amazing books out there written in published by authors and they kind of don't get read or talked about. So I want to read at least one self-published book a month, and that means I have to purchase them on Amazon, but that's fine. I want to open and expose that world to as many people as I possibly can, my subscribers, and really talk about those books that people usually write in their spare time, and this is their love and their passion, but they aren't, backed by a major publishing house. So that's another goal, is more self-published books. Right on. If I could sit down long enough and write a book, I don't think I have the stamina for that, to write a book. But if I could and then self-publish it, I know it would have to be hard because self-publishing is all about self-promotion. You have to promote and promote and promote and promote and do as much as you work as you possibly can to get people to read it and enjoy your words that you took your time to write. So that's my main thing. Self-published books. And last but not least on my 2019 book goals list is I want to read 30 books this year. 30. Last year, my goal was to read 15 books. I read 19. I was trying to get a 20 in there to make it even, but I didn't have enough time. I ended up running out of time at the end of the year. But I read 19 books, which was higher than my goal that I set for myself. This year, I want to read at least 30 books. Now, I know some people don't like to set book goal numbers, and some people do. I do because I think it challenges me. I'm a very competitive person. I'm very competitive with myself, and I usually write the number around or hanging in my studio or wherever so I can see it on a daily basis to remind myself, like, you have this goal of 30 books, you're reaching to this goal of 30 books, you're moving, and it pushes me to read the books. I don't read books just to read books just to get the number up. I read books that I feel will, nourish my body or my mind or entertain me. So I try to read books that I feel will be, good reads, worth the read. So it's harder for me to just pick up a random book and read it and say, okay, now I've read this book. One book closer to my goal. I really have to want to read it. I have to be in the mood to read it, which is hard because then you read something, you'll start reading, and then you're not in the mood for it, you'll sit it down, and then you're 2 weeks later, you still haven't started another book. So, I said all that to say, my goal this year is 30 books. I think I can do it. I'm going to push myself. Hold me accountable, guys, to read books, and I'll hold you accountable to read your book goals for this year, and that's pretty much it. I'm currently reading Accidental Mistress. Is an urban fiction, and this book is amazing. It's so many things in this book that usually is not talked about in urban fiction, or you don't see in urban fiction. So I really appreciate the author for doing that. I'm going to do a covers and cocktails with the Accidental Mistress, and that'll be coming up soon. Everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year. Because I don't think I said Happy New Year. Yes, I didn't. This is my first video of the year. Happy New Year. For everyone at Worth the Read. Peace out. Thanks, Eagles. You did a good job, but next year we're going to get them.